it's Lindsay from My Crafty Plans. Welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. Today we're going to get February all set up in my Erin Condren Family Organizer, which is my main monthly planner. We will also be working on some of my journaling pages from January so we can close that out. Really excited to get all set up for this month. It's actually already in February. Usually I do this at the end of the month, but we were on vacation and I didn't get it done before we left for vacation. So it is actually February 5th now while I'm filming this. So gotta dive in and get this set up. I am gonna be using some of the Simply Gilded Valentine's Day new releases for my February theme for this month. Super, super excited. Gonna use these friendship bracelet ones. I've also got some of the stickers that go with that and some fun pinks and purples picked out, so we're definitely going very thematic. February color is a pinkish purple color, so hopefully that all balances out and works out. This video is going to be mostly sped up with a voiceover with some flip throughs in between. So we're going to get started by finishing up my January pages and with a January flip through, so I'm going to throw it over to that. With a little bit of book journaling actually, and I'm still a little bit figuring out how I want to handle book journaling for this year, because I really did want to leave it in here at least to have a record of everything that I've read for the year. I loved having that in my family organizer last year, and also from a functional perspective, I did not have one accidental reread all year long, and I was just notorious for accidentally rereading books before that, so I feel like that's so impressive for me. If you don't know what an accidental reread is, it's basically like the description of a book sounds great and then it turns out to be some kind of 3-star, very forgettable read, and then I make it halfway through the book again and realize that I've already read this. Mostly happens with YA books, to be honest, which I feel like I really enjoy reading in the moment, but they don't tend to have a very lasting impact on me anymore. It does occasionally happen with romance and stuff like that. It would be much more unusual for it to happen with a fantasy book. But anyway, so I wanted to keep it in here, but I'm also using my Archer and Olive journal to do more in-depth reading journaling for, not for every book, but just when something really resonates with me. So I didn't want to kind of duplicate things. So I went back to more of a book tracker rather than writing a lot of stuff about the books. I'm going to bring in a little bit of text to this page, keeping my ratings in here, using my stamping marker from Erin Condren on that as well. And then I also wanted to just get a little bit more decorative with it. I really want to do another stamping spread, but I had all these extra stickers from the Simply Gilded kit. So I decided to use that for this time. Maybe I will do some stamps in March and have fun with it then. From a reading perspective, I think this might be the strongest start to a reading year that I've ever gotten to. So right now, while I'm recording this voiceover, it's mid-February, and I have already read 19 books this year, which just seems like an astronomical number. And I think I marked 9 in January. It was actually 10, but the last book that I read in January was the first in a series, and I ended up reading the entire series this month in February. So I wanted to just count that all as part of February. So you will see that next month. A lot of vacation reads. I read The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, which somehow I had missed. I thought I had read all of her books, but I hadn't really loved that. But my favorite from this month was A Market of Dreams and Destiny, which is kind of like a cozy fantasy, fairy bargains kind of book. If you are into fantasy, definitely check this out. It was really, really wonderful. The book centers around a kind of fairy market that is in, I believe, London, and a boy who works there, or a teenage boy who works there, and then he kind of gets involved with some human children that work in a workhouse in really appalling conditions, and he is really good at making deals, and he's trying to help them, and it's just really wonderful. And I have just been reading so many fairy bargain books lately. Actually, 2 of them were also this month. Once Upon a Broken Heart, which I didn't love. I feel like that's a really big book talk book, but it kind of disappointed me. And then Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is a sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I read last year and absolutely loved. And that's my January reading highlights. I hope you enjoyed seeing my book journal. So now I can finish up January with a little flip through. Here was my calendar. Not a super busy month and simultaneously a very busy month, just with some longer blocks of time there at the end. And then we had that kind of week where we barely had school because of the snow. We've got my recurring schedule and all of my usual dashboard space here, my kind of 1-page goals translation, things that I'm working on and things I need to schedule. Little deco box in the corner there. Then we had some school pages here that I did not really use that much. Again, expected to be doing more on this year, but the travel schedule and snow day schedule kind of took precedent over that. Then this I did use a lot with just kind of like forward planning and the massive admin list that I had to work off that was just so out of control in January. Then we've got the book journal, which we worked on together, and my regular journaling page here where I did like a little gratitude spread here. I thought that was really fun. I really, really love how this looks all together, but also just like the individual components as well. My little memory recorder for each of the individual kids, memories and milestones. Then we've got this house list. I had this extra space and I just thought this was so cute. I had 10 rides at SoulCycle and they had this little card here for me that was like clearly lettered by someone who worked there. I just thought it was really adorable and I didn't want to throw it out. So I had this extra space in here since I didn't use the rest of my checklist page, so I just kind of glued it in there. I may do some more journaling around there, but we'll see how we feel. I just thought that was cute and I wanted to save it. Then this is going to be where my photo journal goes. This is going to be filled with pictures from our trip. I've already started printing them, but my mom actually took like way more pictures than I did because she had her camera with her, and my mom is like a very talented photographer. So I'm waiting for some more pictures from her so that I can print out some more stuff for in here. And then even beyond that, obviously, I'm gonna get some real prints from our vacation as well. So fun. Then we've got our last pages of memory keeping in here. I really like how this turned out this week. Again, I'm trying to like bring in a little bit more creativity to that space. I also need to do a better job tracking like funny things said, because I feel like already, even like last night, my youngest said something so funny and I already can't remember what it was, but I remember like rolling with laughter at the time. Anyway, we had a really, really amazing vacation. We had some good favorites this month. For me, and actually for the kids, I will say I have so thoroughly enjoyed having Percy Jackson to watch with the kids. It's over now. We enjoyed it so much as a family and it was great. We've never had like a family show to watch like that before. So that was really wonderful. Super into it. I've been really, really into fantasy romance lately. I've also been really into like fairy style of magic. I don't know. I've just been on a run of books with just like a lot of fairy bargains as plot points. So super, super cool. You'll see some of those were in my book journal for this time, but you'll see even more of those in February. Very into Taylor. We've got our favorite kids podcast, the Storyland podcast. We found another one called the Calm Kids Collective, which we used on vacation to help with sleep. That was really useful. And just, yeah, I've also been really into audiobooks lately, like especially if they've got British narrators. So I've been listening to more audiobooks this year than I have in previous years and enjoying that as well. I think if you have a Spotify premium membership, you get like a certain number of hours now of audiobooks that are included in your membership, and I have definitely been taking advantage of that. And then we've also got my Line a Day memory keeper. So that is it for January. So I'm going to throw it back over to the voiceover for February. So let's dive into my February calendar. It's going to take me a little bit longer to get this set up than usual because I am going to just go so hard on those friendship bracelet stickers, and it kind of takes a little bit of time to figure out the placement, all of that, etc. And I kind of wanted to put them on like a string, so I was using the pen, but I am so obsessed with how this turned out. I literally actually just placed a Simply Gilded order yesterday and ordered more of these friendship bracelet stickers. I love this as a Valentine's Day theme, but I think I just love this as kind of an always thing. Friendship bracelets, always in style, at least these days. And I think these are just such a fun set of stickers. I wish I had bought more initially, but I did pick up some more. They are still in shop. And I think especially the way that I'm going to do this here and like in the journal setup in a few pages where I'm using it as kind of like a decorative header, I'm really, really into that. I do just like a few of them that are just purely decorative. I'll do one on the bottom of the page of this calendar and then also one on the next page as well. But I think it's just especially fun as a header. I'm definitely going to have to pull these into more spreads, like weekly spreads and different things like that. Yeah, and I stuck to mostly the pinks and purples since that matched the washi and also just kind of the February aesthetic that I was going for. But there are blues and yellows and greens, so I think this could easily be used for spring or for other times of the year as well. So again, you'll definitely be seeing these stickers more from me. So we were actually already into February when I set up this calendar. Usually I at least have the calendar and the next set of pages, the dashboard page, done ahead of the month. But because we were on vacation from like the end of January into the beginning of February, I didn't get this done beforehand. So I just did it once I got back, but it was totally fine. I got it done a couple days after vacation anyway, so no real time loss. February is such a short month anyways. It always just feels feels so much shorter, even though I know it's like only a couple days. And this year there's a 29th of February as well, so it's not even as short as usual. Not a ton on the calendar for this month, but this is a really big month where I feel like I have a lot of things to schedule. We're starting to get into birthday season. I know that the kids need to go to the doctor for the year. I need to go to the doctor. I just feel like I had car maintenance. I feel like I have a lot that needs to be scheduled, so I've been trying to work on that a little bit, and I've also really am in the thick of a very huge work project, so time has felt pretty limited, especially with all of the snow days that we've had this winter. All of my pens and markers are going to be pinks and purples, and definitely going all out for this spread. I feel like February is always the month where I go all out, most all out, or at least February and March. February, because I just love the Valentine's Day aesthetic in planners. I am so into like all the pink and the purple and the hearts and the bows, and especially these friendship bracelets. But I always love a good Valentine's Day spread, which in real life, I could care less about the holiday. Like, I don't think my husband and I have like celebrated in a really long time. Like, since we had kids, we always I would like make a fancy dinner before we had kids, and then we would go out to dinner another night, because if I'm going out to dinner at a fancy restaurant, I want your real menu, not like some special Valentine's Day menu. I want the real menu. So we would never like to go out to dinner on Valentine's Day. Now that we have kids, it's just, again, I feel like it's one of those things that I don't really care enough about. So it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. But this year, since it's actually after Valentine's Day now, it's February 15th while I'm recording this voiceover, I'm class parent, and I was working at the class party for my daughter's second grade classroom, and it was the most adorable and heartwarming thing for Valentine's Day. It was so cute, and I love that the kids are still young enough to just be like so into it. The whole class was so into it, boys and girls, everybody. It was just absolutely adorable, and I really, really just had such a fun time at the school. I don't usually love being in the classroom with kids. I like to volunteer and help out, and I'm able to do that. I'm really grateful for that, but volunteering in the classroom is not my favorite. So this was a really nice treat that it was just so special. And we did some really fun crafts with the kids, which I do enjoy. More decorating and sidebar here, just kind of doodling friendship bracelets. And then I'm going to use some more stickers as well. So while I'm doing that, I can kind of catch you up on my vacation a little bit. We went away for a whole week, and we went with my entire family. So my dad and his partner, and my mom and my brother and his whole family, plus like our whole family. And we went to Turks and Caicos. We stayed at an all-inclusive resort. We had the best time. It was so much fun and a very relaxing vacation. It was really fun to travel with my family, which we were a little bit nervous about. I feel like we spend so much time with my family, so not like the being with them, but people have different vacation styles. You never know. And I think being at an all-inclusive definitely made it a lot easier. I feel like my parents aren't really all-inclusive people, but me and my husband definitely are. But it's just the easiest thing to do with little kids, because there's always something to do. There's always something to eat, something for everybody. We went to a resort that was extremely child friendly / like literally for children. So we had a really good time, and I think everybody else did as well. And the weather was amazing, so perfect. And the water was really warm. We were at the pool, the beach, all good. And it was just really, really lovely. There were enough adults around. Plus there was like a kids camp at this place that my older kids at least really liked. The younger one, not so much, but we just had a really fun time. And I feel like I got a lot of relaxing time. I was able to have dinner with my husband out one night without the kids. And we ate a bunch of dinners with my whole family, just our family. I don't know. It was just really, really fun. Definitely would do it again. I also read an absolute ton of books while we were on vacation, and I feel like that has not let up. Like I said before, I'm just having a really amazing start to the reading year. Although I think definitely helped along that I've mostly been reading YA and romance, which are typically quicker reads than other books or than like long fantasy books or anything like that. So I pulled this on Instagram the other day, but I'm super curious. Do you have a reading goal, like a specific number of books or like a amount of times per week or anything like that? I'm super curious what people's reading goals are. I don't have like a very strict reading goal. I do always set like a Goodreads target since I've started using Goodreads. This year I set it at 80 books, which is about what I read last year. Again, like if I don't hit it, it's fine. If I go over it, it's fine. With this start to the year, I have a feeling that I'll revise it up. Although I don't think I would ever go over it. Maybe by like a couple of books, course, but if I was off by a factor of magnitude, I would increase it at some point during the year. And likewise, if I start to look like I'm trending nowhere near that, I will lower it. That's so many books anyways. I'm super not worried about it. I read almost every night right before bed. I try not to read so much during the day because if I start reading during the day, I find it very difficult to stop. So I mostly just read kind of at night. Lately, I've definitely been reading during the day sometime. I'm probably going to have to lock my Kindle away a little bit so that I can do some work and get some work done. And I mostly read on my Kindle. Pretty rare for me to read a physical book. I just find the Kindle so much more convenient. And I have been listening to a lot of audiobooks, like I said, this year, or at least a lot for me, which is like 1 or 2 a month. Mostly I am just reading on the Kindle, and all fiction. A lot of romance, a lot of fantasy, some YA. I just read whatever I feel like. I don't have like specific goals around that. I've tried nonfiction a couple of times, but it's just really not for me. For me, reading is just like light and fun and enjoyable. Similar to watching TV, although I think I probably like reading better than TV. So that is kind of the central thesis for my reading life. But anyway, just going through my calendar now and kind of adding in anything that I do have scheduled, a lot of just the school calendar and things like that for the kids, because that stuff is all published in advance and is already stored in my phone. So I just kind of transfer it into my calendar when we get to that month. But yeah, a lot of like half days, days off school, so much stuff. I just feel like, wow, this winter, it's just been really crazy. The kids seem to be out of school as much as they are in it. I am still using the same 6-color color coding system. I do change the colors every month to match with the spread, but my categories haven't changed in a while. It's work, meaning my freelance business, channel/social media, kids stuff, appointments, finances, and other, which is just a catch-all for anything that doesn't fit into those buckets. I occasionally flex in a home category if we are like doing any major projects in the house. Probably we'll bring that back in the spring, but for right now, we don't have anything going on. So next, I'm going to get my dashboards all set up, starting with that recurring schedule, which I feel like is a complement to my calendar. I used to put all of this stuff on my calendar, and then when I switched to the family organizer from whatever I was using before the family organizer, which I think was an Ingendio for my monthly spreads, I moved all of those regular things over here, which I really love because it clears up space in my calendar that like helps me really focus on events or things out of the ordinary versus, you know, the kids' activity schedule, which is the same every week. So it's really helpful to not just have that extra clutter in my calendar. That way I can see if there's something going on a little bit easier. Like it just definitely distracts. So I really like having this recurring schedule. Sometimes I put things that are like chores or household things in there, and sometimes I don't. I did a little bit this month. I like it to look like a little bit busy, but not like so overwhelmingly busy. I don't reference this like that much. When you have something at the same time every week, it kind of just becomes a part of your rhythms and routines, and you don't have to think about it that much. But it is really helpful if we're ever like transitioning activities or if the schedule is changing, that I have like kind of a place to put that in. Typically that would be like in the fall and the summer, from kind of June through September. That section is very in flux, but then it kind of tends to remain the same for the year. At least so far. As we kind of try out new activities, that may change, but for right now, we're pretty much set on this whole pattern. We did add, my son started taking golf lessons in January, so that is the newest thing on there, but other than that, we're kind of set on the activities we've got for the year. Then the 2 line boxes, one of them is my to schedule box, so any appointments that I need to make. I definitely forgot a bunch of things here, and I've added to that list since, like I said, we've got a lot of stuff to schedule, and then in the section under that is where I kind of plot out any work projects that I'm working on. That's usually more helpful, but right now I'm really, really focused on this huge project that delivers in April. And I've got that kind of mapped out and broken down in a different place because that's not enough space for me to plan out this project there, but it seems silly to have it just like written once there since it's taking up almost all of my work time and all of my freelance time. I'm really excited about it. It's an idea that I pitched to my agency. If you don't know, I work a freelance kind of consulting and writing business that's related to what I did before I had kids, and I mostly just contract through this agency. I pitched them on an idea. They loved it. We're doing it together, and it's been really amazing so far. I'm really excited for it, and it's definitely the most entrepreneurial thing I've ever done. So it just feels really cool to see an idea that you have come to life, and hopefully it goes well. And it's an event, and this event is in April, so I'm really excited for that, but a lot of work to get done before that. Down at the bottom here, I always do like a deco or quote box. So we're of course going in with some more friendship bracelets, and I did make quite a few here. I'm going to do like a bunch of strands looping kind of together. I'm really obsessed with how this comes out. And then I did just say lover, Taylor on my mind. So we had to just go with it since that was kind of the inspiration for these stickers anyways. So we're just going for it. And I just moving the planner around so that I could kind of get the angles that I wanted. I'm going to make a couple of strands here, like I said, and then I'm just going to even use some of the bows and hearts just as like kind of random beads thrown in. I really love how this looks. I also love the washies that came with this set. So really just like a fun little set of inspiration. And I also thought it decently matched with the color that was in the planner. It's not like the closest match ever, but the February Erin Condren color in this planner, which this is the Color Blends neutral color palette, is kind of a soft pinky purple. So we've got the pinks, the purples, and if you kind of go in between them, then you get the Erin Condren color. Although the colors that I used are probably a little bit more vibrant than that, but it doesn't like full on clash where I felt like I had to cover it, which I definitely will not be doing again. Last year, February was the only year that I covered up the color on this page in particular. It's very difficult to cover the cover. The one after this page is like the other side of this spread is the reason why that is. And yeah, I did that in the February spread. It looks awesome in my planner from last year, but it was so much work. It took even longer than this spread. So definitely not doing that again. I'm actually already thinking about my March setup. I feel like February and March are, like I said before, my two favorite spreads. Always March is what I count as birthday season. So my birthday is actually in early April, and my youngest, her birthday is actually February 27th. But from February 27th, which is her birthday, to April 6th, which is my birthday, is just like almost every family birthday we have. So all three of my kids are in that time window, plus my mom, who's birthday twins with my oldest, and my brother, and one of my brother-in-laws, and my mother-in-law, and one of my sister-in-laws. So like literally so many birthdays. My husband is in the winter, but he's the odd man out. We are all in this time frame. So even though it extends into early April and stretches back into the last few days of February, I count March as the birthday month, and I always do like a big birthday theme for my March spread. I might use some of the stickers from the Simply Gilded 12 Days of Simply Gilded. They're just so pretty, but I also feel like I have like a lot of good birthday stickers. I've got this like really fun unicorn themed thing from Mama Gloria's that I might use, so I have to think about it. Maybe I'll put a poll out there and show you some of the different options. I think I kept a little bit slower than I usually do. I just felt like people might want to see the sticker placement for this because it is pretty fun. But if you feel like you like it faster, or if you like it slow like this, definitely let me know in the comments down below. For today, it gives us lots of time to chat about all of the things. So then after the left-hand side, which has like that recurring schedule and everything, we've got the right-hand side of this page, which I always call my one-page goals translation. So I take all of that hard work that I put into my Moxie Life setup to my February goals in this case, and then I kind of break it down in here. I always say that for goals, the way I think about goals is when I do my Moxie Life, I'm thinking about the life area and the life impact, and also like, you know, what I have time for and what's going on. But the way that you structure those goals is around your life areas, not necessarily around how something is accomplished. And this page helps me translate that into how something is accomplished. So we've got a specific task list. So I'm drawing from those goals and taking the ones that are task oriented and putting them into that list on the left-hand side. I like to do some themes, or I can put some more soft goals over on the right-hand side. And then anything that's going to be like a habit that I'm thinking about for the month, I put in that habit tracker list below. I don't love that there is a habit tracker there because it is a monthly planner. There are no weekly pages in this planner. So why is there a monthly habit tracker? But we work with the space we're given. So I usually just list things out. I don't track anything in there. And then I try and make the colors kind of match with the themes, like going with the calendar colors, but it's not one-to-one because that's just not how big themes work. And I also like it to all be different colors. And sometimes that's not how my big themes for the month work either. But I had a really fun time with the colors for this month. That purple marker is the Erin Condren dot marker. And then I also used a pink one from the new wellness pack. I am obsessed with the wellness markers, which I feel like not because they have sayings on them or because they're called wellness markers, which I don't really care about. And I think it's kind of funny that a marker is a wellness marker. What does that even mean? But anyway, I really love the colors of them and like how vibrant they are. They're so gorgeous, the whole set. Then these 2 pages here, this double spread is my kind of functional kid zone type space. So we've got this page here, which says school, and I use that header and I just track anything that I need to know for the kids' school and also for PTA or anything like that here. So any volunteering. I left a little section here for the Valentine's Day party because at this point I was still kind of planning the activities for that. I don't really have anything going on for the preschool right now. I can put anything I need in there if anything comes up, but I don't volunteer at the preschool anymore, so I don't have as many responsibilities. And then the other thing that's on my mind related to this is we've got a lot of pending camp and school forms as we get into the kids' doctor's season, which they are all going to go to the doctor at some point soon. And I need to get all of that paperwork finished so that everybody is good for next year, enrolled in the schools they're supposed to be enrolled in. And then as well, my oldest is starting overnight camp this summer, which I've mentioned. So we have a lot of paperwork to do for that as well. So I just wanted a place to keep track of that, not rushing to get that all completed right now because it doesn't have to be done right this second, trying to just make a note of it, move, but I'm really busy right now, so I don't have to handle it right now. I just don't want it to slip through the cracks. And then on the other side here, up at the top, there is like an important dates thing. So I typically will just plot out anything that's going to impact our schedule. I don't put like every little event in. It's basically things that really need to be planned for, like kids' days off from schools, breaks, if I have any travel with or without the family. So things like that where we're going to have to adjust things. I like to keep note of that here. And then the bottom section I actually use as a flex zone, so making some kind of list related to something. Last month, that was my admin catch-up list, and for this month, I decided to do like this trip section. Basically, we have a lot of things that were planned. I'm mostly through this list at this point. There's just like one thing left, but I had a lot of half-booked travel. Like for example, for Go Wild, I have my Go Wild ticket and I had my hotel reservation, but I hadn't booked a flight. And we had like a lot of different things like that. I had a work trip that was like that. We have a planned trip to Disney that had some things pending. We're going to Disney next fall. So a lot of really fun and exciting things that were like more than half planned, and we just needed to finish up some flights and information about that. So like I said, at this point in the mid-month, that's mostly done, but that is what I used that space for this month. Then this next page here, I do cover up a lot of the headings that are in use, and I use this as like a double page of journaling stuff. So typically my book journal will go on that left-hand side where it says extracurriculars. I just cover that up. And then up at the top there, I do the memories and milestones. So I just journal kind of one thing or one highlight for each of my 3 kids. So I'll set that up in the top section on the right. And then on the bottom section, I'll do a journal. And I've been experimenting with some different prompts this year. Last month, I did like a gratitude log, and that was really fun and helpful at the end of the month that I didn't have to just like sit down and freehand think of what to say. This month, I just left a label on it using the stickers. It just says thoughts, but I may grab some kind of prompt there as well, unless I just feel like regular journaling, which I can always do if I feel like it. I usually do that after the month ends. I usually do almost all of the journaling spaces in here at the end of the month or after the month ends, including my book journal, pretty much everything except for the Line a Day Memory Keeper, which the Line a Day Memory Keeper, I typically update like 1 or 2 times a week, and I'll do like a few days at a time, ideally, or at most, a week's worth of stuff. That is the last page in the planner, which we'll get to in a second. I really love all of the journaling elements in this planner, and it always, to me, it feels now at this point like such a great way to close out the month with like a little journaling session. And I usually print off the photos that I'm going to use, even if I haven't put them in yet. But yeah, I just really enjoy all of the journaling elements as well as the planning elements of this planner. This for me was just such a great add to the EC lineup, and I foresee myself using this definitely for years to come unless I find something similar. This style of planning just really works very well for me. Then after this page, the planner actually has 4 blank pages, so two spreads of blank pages. The first set I use as just a functional kind of brain dump space. I call it my split listing page. I really don't like the phrase brain dump, but it's basically any kind of lists or checklists or idea maps that I need to have during the month can go in that space. Frequently, because there's so much space in this planner and I've already set up so many other things, I don't need all of that. Then the next set of blank pages, I actually just leave blank, and that's where I do my photo journaling spreads, and I just print out a bunch of pictures from the month. I print them out at home. I have an HP Photo Envy printer, and I love that, and it's just been really, really fun to incorporate, and it also makes this planner just feel so special and worthy of saving. I save all my planners, but this one is definitely very worthy of saving. And then the last set of pages here there's just like that kind of guided journaling page here that I try and have fun with. I'm trying to do a better job keeping track of those things as I go through the month, so I have more to say. And then the last page is just a lined page, and I set that up as a line a day memory keeper, which is, I always tell people that if you want to get started with journaling or memory keeping, this is my favorite way to start. I just write down one thing from the day, and I have done this for years and years at this point. I think probably since like 2016, I've done a line a day memory keeper, and I absolutely love it. And it is just a really easy, low pressure way to get started with journaling. I just write down one thing, good or bad, that happened or that I was feeling for the day. As we were a few days into the month, I just did my journaling catch up there, and then that's pretty much it for all of these spreads. All right, that is February all planned up. Let's just take a last flip through. I am so obsessed with this setup. I think it's like my favorite thing ever. Just these friendship bracelets from Simply Gilded. I am all in on this as an aesthetic. I definitely think I'm gonna order some more of these stickers with my next Simply Gilded order. Even like not for Valentine's Day. I just think they're so cute. Here we've got the recurring schedule, my 2 schedule, which I have, it looks like I forgot to mark that one as 2, which we're now freehanding. Close enough. Live dangerously. Work stuff, 1-page translation of my goals, school stuff going on, a list of like the pending forms still left. Mostly it's like medical stuff at this point, but we haven't been to the pediatrician yet, so I need to book that. We've got the Tradville admin stuff, which actually I now, as of recording this outro for the video, I've actually taken care of a lot of this stuff, so I'll have to go back through and check that out. We've got some important dates, what will be my book journaling page, although we'll see because I've already read so many books in February. The journaling setup, love that, and all of that. We've got party stuff, which I need to get on, and any other listing that comes up during the month I'll put here. This will be saved for photos, and then we've got our little memory keeper here and our line a day memory keeper, and you kind of see where I'm at with that. So that is everything for this setup and for this video. I hope you enjoyed planning with me. Do you use a separate monthly planner, or is it part of your regular weekly or daily planner? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can check me out on Instagram and TikTok at MyCraftyPlans for even more planner fun. Bye!